Dogman might be one of DreamWorks' funniest movies, but it's also a pretty heartbreaking story.
Dogman!
Have you ever noticed how much poor Dogman has suffered throughout his life? Even though the surgery that fused Officer Knight and Greg together saved both their lives and turned them into the best cop OK City has ever seen, the truth is that it also changed their lives forever, and not all of those changes were for the better. By becoming Dogman, a cop with a dog's head, everything changed dramatically, and not everyone handled that news well. One person in particular didn't take it well at all: Alice, Knight's girlfriend. She broke up with him and moved away without even having a conversation first. That left Dogman absolutely devastated, especially because he started feeling extremely lonely. As heartbreaking as this was for the pup cop, it's kind of hard to blame Alice for her reaction. A lot of people point out how weird it is that there's a kid's story about a guy who had his head replaced with a dog's. She was probably traumatized when she found out what happened to Knight. I mean, being in a relationship after that would have been nearly impossible anyway. Dogman acts more like a dog than a human, and we can't even be sure if Knight's mind actually merged with Greg's, or if our favorite hero is just Greg in Knight's body. Even so, Alice could have kept living with him, or at least stayed friends, right? That was seriously cold. And that's just the first of 8 heartbreaking things Dogman has been through. So get comfy, because this is another episode of Cinewave. The actual origin story of this main character is, whether we like it or not, pretty tragic. Before Dogman was even a thing, the officers chasing after Petey were Officer Knight and his loyal partner Greg the dog. The two of them weren't exactly great at their jobs. Knight was a decent fighter, sure, but he was also incredibly dumb. Like, he once tried evacuating an abandoned building, not realizing there was literally no one inside. Greg, on the other hand, was always super smart, but since he had a dog's body, he could be taken down pretty easily. Still, when working together, they were pretty much unstoppable. That's why Petey came up with a plan to take them both out for good. And yep, that's exactly what happens at the beginning of the movie. The evilest cat in the world lures them into an empty building and leaves a bomb behind that goes off as they try to defuse it. Yeah, Petey literally tried to kill them. The only reason he didn't succeed was because Nurse Lady managed to attach Greg's head to Knight's body, fusing them into one being. And that's how Dogman was born. Even though things turned out okay in the end, our new OK City hero didn't really have a choice. It was either become Dogman or die a pretty horrible death. He's been through a lot in the DreamWorks movie, but Dogman's been through even worse in the books. One example, he got arrested. In Brawl of the Wild, the villain Piggy builds a robot dressed like Dogman to rob a bank, and then stashes the stolen cash at the real Dogman's house. So of course, Dogman gets caught red-handed with the money and ends up behind bars. Even though he's saved the city countless times, almost no one believes he's innocent, and he's sent off to dog jail. Luckily, his longtime friends, Chief, Lil Petey, ADHD, and Sarah Hadoff knew that Dogman would never commit a crime like that. They help him break out of jail, take down Piggy, and prove that the half-man, half-dog hero had been set up all along. But until that happened, Dogman had to spend a good amount of time locked up. While in jail, he was mistreated by both the guards and the other dogs, mostly because he's neither fully dog nor fully human. There's literally no one else like Dogman, and that makes him feel even more isolated. Just imagine what it would be like to live in a place where not a single living soul understands what you're going through. That's way worse than just being in jail. If you think Dogman deserves a hug, comment below with #hug. In the movie, people's trust in Dogman gets shaken way too easily, even over things that are totally out of his control. Like that time when the mayor got furious just because Petey managed to escape from jail again. She even ordered the chief to take Dogman off the Petey case and threatened to fire him, even though he was the one who caught Petey several times in the first place. I mean, blaming Dogman for the world's most evil cat breaking out of jail makes zero sense. He's a cop, not a prison guard. And as Chief himself pointed out, the one actually responsible for Petey's escapes was the warden of Cat Jail. But here's where it gets really shady. The warden is the mayor's brother. So yeah, it's totally possible that he helped Petey escape more than once, maybe even under the mayor's orders, just to ruin Dogman's reputation. Whether that was her plan or not, it worked, because Dogman started getting dragged in the news and got super depressed. He didn't deserve that at all. Remember when Dogman lost his girlfriend? Well, as if that wasn't bad enough, he didn't just lose his relationship, he also lost his home. Alice sold the house she used to live in with Officer Knight without even thinking twice about leaving Dogman with nowhere to sleep. When he shows up there, the place is totally empty. All the furniture is gone. Then he runs into the realtor in charge of selling the house. This woman clearly doesn't care about the poor pup at all. She throws a ball into the yard just to get him out of the house, and when Dogman grabs the ball and turns around, bam! She's already slammed the door shut. People can be so heartless, right? After that, he had no choice but to find shelter in a doghouse, and that's where he's been living ever since. The saddest part? The only thing he took with him was that same ball the realtor threw to trick him. At least the doghouse is way bigger on the inside than it looks from the outside, but even so, living there all alone made Dogman feel incredibly lonely. Things only really started to get better after he adopted little Petey. The two of them moved in together and started having a ton of fun. Dogman's career as a police officer has already been in danger more than once, which is bad enough, but in Grime and Punishment, he actually gets fired. And the worst part, this time it was kind of his fault. He ate the mayor of OK City's vegetable garden, and no, we're not talking about the same mayor from the movie. She got replaced in the book universe. So basically, none of the mayors in that city are big Dogman fans. And okay, yeah, eating the mayor's garden wasn't the best move, but we've got to remember that Dogman's brain is at least half animal. The mayor could have cut him some slack, especially considering how many times Dogman has saved the people of OK City. Way too many to count. Even after losing his job over something kind of silly, Dogman didn't give up on fighting crime. He came up with a disguise so he could keep working as a cop, Catman. Luckily, by the end of the story, he manages to save the mayor's life, and his favorite teddy bear too, which finally convinces the mayor to give Dogman his job back. Dogman has been through a lot of sad moments, but you won't be sad if you hit that subscribe button. We post new videos about animation every single day, and they're guaranteed to make you smile. On top of being falsely accused and abandoned, one of the saddest things our hero has gone through, multiple times actually, is bullying. Like we mentioned earlier, Dogman isn't fully human or fully dog. He's a bit of both, which makes humans think he's weird. Like, he acts like an animal and even tries to lick people sometimes. Meanwhile, dogs don't really see him as one of their own either. That's super clear in the storyline where he gets sent to jail. Among humans, believe it or not, it's actually the other cops who bully him the most. In the books, this comes across even stronger. The officers constantly make fun of him. The one who really can't stand Dogman is Officer Maud, and the main reason she's always picking on him? Straight up jealousy. I mean, let's be honest, Dogman is hands down the most talented officer in OK City. The worst bullying moment Dogman ever went through was in Mothering Heights, when he got hurt and had to wear a cone of shame. You know, the kind pets wear so they don't lick or scratch their wounds. Of course, the other officers don't let that go unnoticed. They just laughed at him non-stop for having to wear the cone of shame. At this point, it's pretty clear that the bravest little dog cop out there is constantly dealing with some kind of problem, right? In fact, as of now, there's only been one book where nothing super sad happened to him. That's only because the latest book focused on Big Jim, so Dogman barely even showed up, which is probably the only reason he didn't get wrecked again. In The Scarlet Shedder, the second most recent volume in the Dogman saga, our hero gets hit by a skunk fart and ends up smelling horrible. Since no one could handle the stench, Dogman was forced to take a tomato juice bath to get rid of the smell. But the problem was, the smell didn't go away. And on top of that, something totally unexpected happened. The tomato juice kind of stuck to his fur and turned him completely red. To finally get rid of the stink, he had to use a special shampoo. Thankfully, that worked, but even after that, he stayed red. That's when he decided to take on a whole new secret identity, the Scarlet Shedder. Want to keep the fun going? Just click one of the two videos we left for you right here on the screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time!